RWBY Chibi Season 2, Episode 20, Monsters of Rock. This is definitely an awesome episode. I think they had some really cool, really quick gags that really made me laugh. Of course, Junior Detectives kicking thing off, which is always like my favorite skit because I just love when they do that. This one definitely cracked me up with them having Jaune kind of join them as like the civilian junior detective, which they made it even funnier than they normally do because they talked about how their boss needed them to be junior detectives. Like I think he even said like our junior chief or something like that. So it was just really funny to me. Like it's not just them being junior detectives anymore. It's like officially like the police and then the junior detectives, and it was just funny to me. But they get a case and then in like half a second speed off. I'm gonna assume it's like there's only one old person that we know in the entire series, so I'm gonna assume it was the shopkeeper dude. And he moaned, and it made me really laugh because, in all honesty, it made me think of Resident Evil. Like, if you played, like, the original Resident Evil games, it sounded exactly like that to me, and it really cracked me up just because of that. But it was also really funny. Like, they ran somebody over. Obviously, he's fine, and it doesn't matter. It's the chibi version. But definitely just a funny start, and it's like, yeah, we got a report of a hit and run, so investigating now. So I love that for sure. Second skit was definitely great with the escape rooms, and we get to see Winter, RWBY, and Yang. And of course Yang is impatient and she just blows through the wall and it's like, well, we're done. And then they cut to Crow and the boys and they're completely freaking out. Like Jaune is put up for, like, it's Jaune, so he's always like just the butt of all the jokes, or he's the one who sacrificed her, everything that's happening. So Sun is freaking out. Ren is just kind of standing around. Jaune is standing around. He looks freaked out. And Crow is just like, I think you guys are missing a real obvious solution. Like, it's right here. Just, boom, escape code is 4321. And of course, instead of paying attention or anything, they're still freaking out. It sounds like, oh, the obvious thing is to, like, eat Jaune. And it's like, Ren touching his arm is like, tender. And then Yang bursts in. I guess, I don't know, she was just punching through walls for some reason because she seemed confused as if she was trying to punch her way out of the building. But it seemed like that's what they did in that first shot. So I was like, I don't understand why she punched through another wall. But it made me laugh because I was like, there seemed to be no point for that. But she was super confused, like, oops, didn't mean to punch into someone else's room. But really enjoyed that. And then, of course, we have our final skit with the villains and them having the evil rock band thing for whatever reason. Roman wants to have the evil rock band. He wants to do the Battle of the Bands competition and beat all the heroes with, I believe they're Trouble Clef was the name of the group. So I thought that was awesome. They had the Ghost Grim in there on the guitar, and they had the regular Grim doing the drums and stuff. Of course, they had Neo doing vocals, which was a great little joke there. But I love that for sure. Cinder, of course, being mad at them and then thinking that there was some like grand scheme with this cannon coming in, and then of course it's just like pyrotechnics, which is still weird because it was like out of a cannon. It just seemed funny to me that it was just like pyrotechnics out of a cannon, but it was just funny. I like the way they did that. It was very simple. All three of them were actually, they all felt really fast, but definitely sufficient in this one. Like normally it's like, oh, you have the middle one that's really short, but I feel like all three of these were like almost the exact same length. I think the last one was actually the longest one, but they all felt like they definitely hit their strides like super, super quick, and it was like, okay, it didn't feel, none of them felt like they were too short this time. And sometimes I feel that way typically with the skit that's in the middle, because these last for like almost like, it'll be like a straight minute, and then everything else would be like 2 or 3 minutes long. Well, I guess not. I guess it depends on the episode, but it'll typically just be like, boom, here's the middle skit, in and out, and then it's done, and we move on to the end. But this time, a nice balance, and I think all the skits actually kind of played out fairly well because of that, decent balance. None of them felt too long or felt too short, and they each had, moments where it's like, okay, I laugh in fairly decent kind of intervals, even though obviously they're all fairly short skits. But definitely enjoyed all three of them for this episode. Once again, we got to see both Winter and Crow. I feel like, even though they never seem to be like the main focus, they're always kind of just thrown in there. It's like just, they're in the background, or, maybe they will have a line or two, but they seem to be like, all right, now that we've introduced them, they kind of just toss them in there. We got to see a bunch of the villains, pretty much, actually we got to see everyone. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be going back to some of the other Grimm at some point. I feel like we got the Nevermore once, maybe. I really can't even remember, but I feel like we did one time in the last season. But that was definitely cool. We got to see the Grimm. Got to see, quite a few different characters going through the different skits and stuff. But definitely enjoyed this episode. Of course, short as always, but it definitely entertaining. And like I said, I think this one was better for the fact that it was so incredibly well balanced, and it just felt that way to me because normally that middle skit is always like, sometimes it can be really funny, but most of the time it's like, that was funny, and then I'll literally forget it happened because it'll be like a 30-second skit or something like that, and then it's just like so just thrown in there, it almost feels like it doesn't need to exist. But this time, I liked it more because everything felt like it actually had a purpose. Each one was a decent length, so it kind of made me enjoy them a little bit more because all three skits felt that way instead of just the first and last one, which is like how every week typically feels watching the show. But really enjoyed this episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And of course, with the ending showing off the groups doing, or the villains forming like the evil band and all that stuff, I would love to know, honestly, just what you guys are looking forward to for the most recent, or for the newest volume as far as music. Because I think there's a lot to look forward to. We've gotten, I think, 2 songs so far. We've gotten the one, officially we got, you know, the Winter and Weiss theme, you know, from Weiss's character short. I feel like Blake didn't really have, like, I know she had a theme, but hers is like so action oriented and stuff. I didn't really focus on the music, so I'm sure it's in there. And there's definitely a theme that plays at the end that I don't believe was in Weiss's character short. But we've gotten a couple of the songs, and obviously, you know, it's RWBY. Every time the music comes up, it's always one of the biggest parts of the entire series. So I would love to know what you guys are looking forward to, because I think we have a lot to look forward to as far as more character-specific songs. I don't know if we're going to get something for Jaune, but I feel like this, hopefully, this will be his season where we find out whatever this big mystery is that they keep building up for him. So maybe he'll finally get officially like his own song. He kind of had one before with him and Period when they did the dance. I can't think of the name of the song right now, but that was kind of for the two of them. So maybe he'll get one this season. I kind of hope he does, mostly because that means finally we'll get like that big reveal that we've been waiting for a super long freaking time. But I think he might officially get a song. I think with what they're going to be doing for both Yang and Blake, I think both of them will be getting new songs as well. And obviously Weiss already has one because it was in her character spot, so that's like her new theme, which I would assume is going to show up throughout the actual volume as well, since it was already introduced. But it just kind of made me think about the music. I was listening to When It Falls, you know, very recently, and I was like, man, I just love this freaking song. So I figured I'd ask you guys what songs you guys are looking forward to as far as character-specific stuff, as far as the, I think, only 2, possibly 3 songs that we've gotten so far. Would love to know what you guys think about those songs that have already been put out. And like I said, of course, want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.